Hey everybody, it's Shelby with Bonding the Board Games. This time I'm going to paint the White Clan and Scythe. First thing I'm going to do is spray paint them with some white spray paint. But we got going on here some white mechs, and we've got the lady with her pet bear. So I'm going to get this primed and I'll be back in a second. Just sprayed these with some cheap 99-cent primer from the hardware store or Lowe's. It does a pretty good job, dries super fast, and it's not tacky at all. Come on, you're not helping. Alright, one nice thing about using the goats, no. One nice thing about using the drywall nails, this little trick I do on Zombicide, is I can hook it on my drill. And a way to do a quick wash on it and make something look real dirty. These aren't super detailed models, this is just a board game, it's not a miniatures game. So what I will do, I've got some Minwax Special Walnut. You just dunk your model in there. This would be instead of dry brushing. Now we want to keep them mostly white, but check that out just after just spraying it white, dunking it in there. Pretty cool. You know what I do is I just spin the drill and get most stuff off there, and we'll do that with all our white guys. This is literally less than 5 minutes worth of work. Just spray paint it white, dunk it in the stuff, bada bing. Probably 2 minutes worth of work. I put 3 drops of raw sienna. We've got Anna and Wojtek from Polenia. Got 1 thing of burnt umber. Just trying to get a nice base coat for the bear and the gal here. Doesn't have to be exactly right now. It's just the inks are super thin, so drop the model on the floor. And then I think I'm just going to do everything. There's so much of him. These are actually kind of transparent, it seems like. They're so thin you can see the color underneath. I guess that's transparent. So we'll just get all of him done and probably do her clothes as well. She's some draft colors. But you don't have to be too gentle with this. Just try to get it everywhere. And probably don't need to do this pack, but it's just white. It doesn't matter. We'll just hit everything. You don't want to forget the little angles that you can only see from certain directions, but some people will look and say, why did you do that part of him? I'm like, I didn't notice. But just something to think about. You don't get carried away later as long as it's got something on there. Better than being bright white. One thing I didn't think of when dunking these in the floor varnish, I use it for zombies and stuff, but it does tint your model of color. So these are supposed to be white, and what I should have done is put a sealer on them first. I'm really not liking how they're taking the color and they're really not standing out white. I think I'm just going to re-prime them, and then I might hit them with a sealer and then dunk them again. Let's see what we do here. Back to square one, just primed them. I want to keep the models white, so I think I've got them primed. I'm going to hit them with some Krylon, UV, resistant coating, blah blah blah. It's matte, so it's not real shiny. I'm going to hit them with that just so the white stays and doesn't absorb any of the colors from the shadings and whatnot. Mix up a little green inks for the bear's packs here. I'll just get that on. And you can use acrylic paints too, just thin them down so you're not getting rid of your detail. Well, sometimes if stuff's too thin, you gotta do it twice, but that's alright. I already did the 1 pack on the other side here. Just trying to speed this video up a little bit. So I'll do this pack also. Then I'll have all the straps and stuff to do. I'll do those here in a second. The bottom side, and alright, I know it's bright at first, but once we're done shading them and washing them and everything, it'll It'll look better. I'm going to do the straps in a antelope brown, which is almost like a super dark green. It's pretty much trace over them. It's pretty simple. It's like an adult coloring book. Don't get too much. You can kind of slop it off on the other areas, but pretty much similar to that. I'll do that all over him. I went ahead and hit the little latches on the packages and stuff with the same color. I like to paint a lot of the same colors at the same time just to make it easier. I think I'll just go ahead and do her boots in this color. It's only marginally darker than what she's got on her legs now, but may hit her coat as well. And see the picture. I think I'll go ahead and hit her coat this color while we're at it. Sometimes the inks through the whites, you can almost highlight themselves as they go on. I know in the picture her coat's darker, but we can get that done up better with some shades. Apologize for the noise in the background. Everybody upstairs listening to the radio. Try to speed this up. You guys get the general idea here, I believe. Don't need to watch me do all of this. I think I said it in the last video, some of these more detailed models, if you add up all your time on it, it's probably about an hour. That's what I did on my Blood Rage guys. Probably averaged out about an hour. Which we got 100 dudes, that's a long time. So, watched 3 seasons of The Walking Dead doing it. And season Flash. Or listened to 3 seasons, I should say. Can't do much watching while you're doing this, but glance over every once in a while. And these models are kind of crappy. You got this little spot right here in the crook of her arm. It's just plastic there. We'll paint it black just to kind of hide it later. Doesn't matter right now. We'll just hit it. We always do the bear in a different color shade than her coat and everything, and make them look like 2 different colors. But just a lot of little steps end up adding up something cool when you're done. I'm trying to look through my magnifying glass here and have everything show up. A little bit awkward. Alright, that's gross enough for this coat. Another way you can do this is just get some Citadel shade and Newland oil. Get quite a bit on your brush and just hit it. The floor varnish thing's pretty cool, but it has a tendency to tint your model a hair. Or just it'll keep your, this won't soak into the base color quite as much, but it's still doing quite a bit. I put a clear coat on this prior to it, and it's Still won't be white when we're done, it'll be more of a gray, but we'll just have to realize that this is the white faction. But the shades and stuff do add tons of detail. The only thing bad about the shades are kind of expensive. Well, $4 for a little pot of it, which you can make your own. There's some cool guys on YouTube that'll tell you how to do it. There's a couple of products you mix together and then add some ink, and it's pretty much a shade when you're done with it. And then you can tune them and add different colors into them to give them a little bit of a variation. But this is just about as fast, honestly. I like the varnish where I'm doing, 50 zombies in Zombicide. I can paint a bunch of bright colors on them and then just dunk them and spin them, and then add the blood when I'm done. And these ones, I tried painting these up the other night and adding guns and stuff to them, and it just looked kind of weird having different colors on it, or having dark guns with supposedly the white faction. But we'll do a little bit more to these. I just don't want to get too carried away. But still pretty cool. It'll settle in and dry. Although I do, in the windows here, I like to make sure I get plenty in the windows. We may even touch up those later with a little bit of black or something if we need to. Hey, my daughter Scarlett came downstairs and grabbed the camera. She's getting an action shot of me. See if we use this in the final video or not. I'm going to do a little burnt umber on her gun. Not the scope or the mag, but just the gun itself here. Trying to get a lot of the same dark colors going on, but it'll look good when we're done, I think. Not that you want to be big and bright, stand out in the field and have somebody shoot you. Nice to blend in. Get started. Make sure they also both have a band on the top. Yellow on the top half and red on the bottom. I think so. She also has one on her arm. Make it. Get some skin color in here. Sometimes when they have necks way down there, you just kind of Grab your brush in there and let it get in. Use a little bit of shimmering silver. I got it at Michael's. It's a pretty good silver color. It's nice and thick, and it really shines. It's pretty cool. Let's go ahead and do the magazine in it too. I know we're gonna blacken it up here in a minute, but we'll hit the patches there. The picture of the bear has kind of a red cross on his front pack, so do that real quick. It's a little light. Do it one more time after it dries. Don't want to miss the bear's black eyes, so we'll do just a dot in there. Always hard not to shake when you're doing that. He's kind of got a really dark brown nose in the picture. I think I may just hit it with black right now. You can always lighten it up with the and let's see if we can be extra crazy and hit her eyes. They're so small, I don't think I should. No, probably shouldn't have. Just for fun, I want to hit his nose with a little bit of raw sienna. Picture shows his nose being a little lighter. Alright, I'm going to put a little Citadel shade on here, a little flesh shade for her face. Just get a drop of it on there and put it on. It won't change it a ton, but it adds a little bit of depth to it. Alright, I'm going to do some Citadel sepia over the bear. I'm going to do it over the packs and everything. Just get a bunch on there and smear it all around. Let's get on everything, be alright. Got some spots that have a little too much, just pick it up with your brush, move it somewhere else. I'm going to hit her coat with some Newland oil. Just a little bit under there. I'm going to hit it with some Newland oil. I think Anya and Wojciech are pretty good for what kind of game this is. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to base it, which I bought some stuff on Miniature Market. I'm almost convinced it's just a bag of oregano. I mean, it smells like oregano. That's supposed to be like some grassy stuff. So what I'm going to do with these guys, I know they're the white faction. If I wouldn't have done the black faction's base white, I would have probably done these people, but too late for that, and I don't want two white bases out there. And their card also looks like they're kind of out in in the grass and the weeds. So I'm gonna just put this white paint on. I thinned down a little bit of acrylic white. Just get a bunch of it on there, and then we're gonna kind of dunk it in the bag of the oregano or base stuff, whatever it is. We have to get a little bit finer brush here to get between their feet. But and this for the basing, you want to get it just on there real heavy and real wet. Try not to get on your model. I just got on his leg there, which kind of makes me crazy. But I can touch that up a little bit later. And get a different brush here. Get it between his front legs. Just trying to get a big blob in there for all this quote-unquote grass to stick to. I think that's pretty good. You just want to just chunk it on there real heavy. And I like it a little bit wet so it helps stuff stick to it. What I do sometimes, I'll just get the bag of the stuff. You don't want to get pulled over having that in your car. They'll be like, "What's that?" Nothing, officer. It's stuff for my little miniature painting. Sometimes I'll just dunk them in here and kind of close up the bottom, turn it over, and just shake it. You want to make sure the rest of the model's not wet at all. Just the basing right then. And you kind of knock it off in the bag, and then voila, they're walking through the grass. You kind of just wipe the edges off. And sometimes it's good to put some sort of a liquidy clear coat or clear glue or something on there, or when you hit it with your clear coats, to get it really good on the base, because it can kind of flake off on you. I'm gonna hit that bottom stripe with a white once this kind of sets up, and I think they'll be done. They'll be good enough. Now we're gonna wrap up these mechs. I know all I did was just dunk them in some shade or floor varnish, but it's a white faction. This isn't really a miniatures game. I think it's good enough to keep it just as a white model. One thing I'd like to do is the cockpit. I got a little bit of black ink. I'll just get that on my brush. I'm going to darken up all these windows real quick. Just make them stand out a bit. You don't have to get it all the way to the edge, because you got gray in there already, and the white on the edges, so just blackening that up looks pretty good. You guys don't need to watch me paint all those, but what I'm going to also do, because I didn't quite get in there enough of these, I'm going to blacken up the ends of the gun barrels. I think that kind of looks cool. But you can get carried away and hit all this stuff on their legs. You can hit their shock absorbers. You could put colors there. You could do the pipes up there. I did it once where I had the guns painted black. It just didn't look like a white faction having all this stuff on them. I just didn't like to keep it simple. So I'm gonna finish painting the windows, and then we'll get to basing this guy. Okay, so we got the windows done, gun barrels done. We're gonna call her good. This white faction isn't that big of a war game, really. So just gonna glob on a bunch of white acrylic paint on the base. Oh, a little bit of color leaking off of the lid where I just squirted the white on there. Yeah, I think in hindsight, I'm probably gonna take the black models walking through the snow, and I might just dry brush the tops of the snow with some brown or some black, just to make it look like it's kind of dirtied snow. Just kind of go with their color scheme a little more, so you're not distracted by the white base of them. But And I could redo it, you know, but I just don't feel like it at this point, and it'll be cool. And I think having the white model on the white base is a little too much white, like the black on the black base is too much black. There aren't any other factions in this game that are gray or anything, so it should be easy enough to remember that this is the white faction, even though they're going to have green grass on them. So got a pretty good coat on there. It's real thick everywhere. And make sure you get it between their feet. But I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm just gonna dunk this dude in my bag of dope, Officer Bart. This is oregano, sir. It's not anything else, sir. Please believe me. Yeah, you'd want Bart pulling you over if you had this in your car. He would understand. And then bada bing, bada boom. They're walking through the field, trumping up stuff. I'm just going to hit the base here with just white ink. This is where I really love having it on a nail. I can just spin it. I'm just trying not to get it up into the grass too much. And you can do an acrylic paint or whatever you want here. It doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be ink. I don't use ink on everything. I just think it's kind of cool sometimes. But that's her. She's the white faction. Not a lot of white on them, but whatever. Cool. Now we're going to hit the bottom of all this with Liquitex Professional Matte Medium, which is kind of like the clear gluey stuff. I guess in the future I'll probably, if I'm doing this type of base again, I'll just paint it white and then use this gluey stuff. That way I don't have to go over the top of it. I've had this kind of stuff fall off before if it doesn't superbly stick. This stuff goes on a little opaque, but it'll dry clear. Just don't do all this work and have your stuff flake off on you. And there's some guys on the YouTube that'll show you how to use that product and some other products to make some cool stains and washes and all sorts of stuff. But it's supposed to dry clear. I've done the 4 other bases and they're already getting pretty clear, so just trying to get a nice coat on this and hopefully keep this stuff from flaking off. Plus we'll get 2 nice coats of a matte sealer on top of it, so as long as we're not too rough with it, we should be alright. Here's the first one I did less than 5 minutes ago. It's already getting really clear, so I think that'll be a nice way of keeping our foliage on there. Alright everybody, we're finally done with faction number 2. Got the girl and the bear done. My daughter's telling me to smile. Got the mechs done. I know they're not super detailed, but it's a white clan, so I don't care so much. I'm going to put 2 coats of a Krylon matte finish on there. Coat it once, let it dry, coat it again, and hope you like it. Leave me some comments below and I'll start working on faction number 3. Catch you next time. Thanks. Okay.
Dad,
Yes,
can you make a wedding cap for me out of this?
A wedding cap?
Yeah, for me.
What's a wedding cap?
Wedding cap. Look, Mom,
Like a veil?
A veil. A wedding cap.
Out of that.
Veil is another word for wedding cap.
Alright. Well, there's the bear. First stage, anyway.
I'm
Dun, 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 dun. Got some other clothes, but that doesn't matter.
hit the wall like
And
like a
I think I'll go ahead and do just the...
like my son like a doctor, like a bicep. You don't know.
That's awesome, you guys. I'm sure everybody's going to love hearing you. These are my 3 little children here. They just came down the stairs. I have a big 3, a middle 3, and a little 3. And I have 9 children. So it's not very quiet at my house very often, but that's alright. I'm usually doing this late at night, but I'm trying to get a jump on it after getting that last video out. So that's it for now, and we'll go on to the next stage. I'll talk. No. tell you anything. Dun, dun, dun.